Hello, this is Super Cool. Time for another Super Cool Reviews. Well, we're close to the end of our Kingdom Hearts journey. Let's continue on with Kingdom Hearts X, or Key, whatever you want to call it. This was a mobile, and keep in mind, I'm going to be reviewing everything Kingdom Hearts X. This was a mobile. Let's start off with Unchained X, which was a mobile game from Japan, and I don't think it was transferred to America, and it showed the gist is you create your own OC and you pick a separate legion of Keyblade wielders, which includes leopards, deer, snake, unicorn, and bear. They're led by these animal mask wielding people known as the foretellers. And it's basically showing you what was life before the entirety of and the events of what led to the Keyblade War. And listen, this is a mobile game, and it's kind of hard to follow, although in a way. But basically, you go. It's kind of hard to explain. Basically, there's conflict between different tribes, yada yada yada. And there's, of course, this will lead to the Keyblade War, and you will die, of course, and that's what led. And because it was said in the first Kingdom Hearts game that had people cherish the light, and eventually darkness grew in people's hearts, and it's what led to conflict. And it's just very hard to follow, honestly, because there are certain parts that they don't really explain clearly why they're fighting, and more importantly, the ending is very confusing until you watch the cutscenes to Union X. Then it makes a whole lot of sense. And it's I can't think of anything else to say. Anyway, let's continue on with X back cover, which was included in the 2.8 HD collection, which is basically the Unchained X game, except from the foreteller's perspective. Basically, what eventually led to them going to war, which they receive their master, voiced by Ray Chase, gave them all a copy. He gave each of the members a copy of his book, the Book of Prophecies. However, he contained them an altered version of them, led to believe that there's a traitor among them, and this never gets solved. Yeah, no spoilers. This never gets solved in the entire movie. I like to believe, and they never clear, but I like to believe that every single one of them is a traitor. And it feels like this was just more plot points to set up for future Kingdom Hearts titles. Like there's a black box featuring something important, and we also see Master's apprentice get Xehanort's Keyblade so he can watch the future, yada yada yada. And yeah, that's it. The voice acting is actually pretty good. Ray Chase as Master, I absolutely enjoyed. He comes out as like a Deadpool or voice like son. Anyway, now let's continue on with Union X. And let me tell you, this is where you can't even tell what the franchise is anymore. Anyway, Union X is the continuation of Unchained X, which follows the group known as the Danny Alliance, and apparently them trying to keep the light safe, yada yada yada. The biggest difference, we also see the younger version of Ventus, Marluxia, and Larxene. But how can that be, since in the main games, they're exactly the same age, so how they gotta be like 1,000 years old. This game explains why they look like that, and without giving too much into spoilers, you can understand what it is. This game also explains the ending to Unchained X without giving too much into spoilers. You understand what's going on. This also sets up even more mystery and more plot points about time travel. It also explains how Maleficent returned, which honestly does make a lot more sense instead of just, oh, person I remember. Oh no, she's coming back. Like, that makes this, like, the ending. The ending, oof, it's near the tip of the iceberg, and you kind of feel bad, but I can't think of what else to say. Listen, these are mobile games, and I'm not that much a review for mobile games, but honestly, it's kind of hard. Anyway, I give the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts X, including everything, a 74 out of 100. This is super cool. Signing off.